Did that come to you as a shock? Because NANS provides some sort of an umbrella association for Nigerian students. Is it something the association has heard before, or it's pretty new to you guys?
Sincerely, it's not new, to be sincere. Before now, we have been receiving some informations like that, that some people are getting certificates that are not legitimate from Benin Republic. But before now, I was the Vice President External Affairs before I became the Senate President. So there was one time last year that I was discussing with the President of Benin, and I raised something like this with him. And it was like, they are doing investigation, that if there's any school they find out that is involved in that, they are going to get back to us so that we can also write officially to the ministry. You know, when some things are at the level of ESA, you can't just take official process on them. So it doesn't come like a shock, and we must give kudos to that journalist for going there to expose this process that is going on in Benin Republic. So it wasn't really a shock to us.
Because interestingly, Umar Aldo mentioned that this is not even a new report, that a similar report like this was done in 2018. And, we've also heard from NYSC and some government agency as far back as 2020. So apparently, it seems that we are hearing this is happening, but nothing concrete was done.
Yes.
So let's talk about this ban, because NAN seems to have an issue with what federal government calls a temporary ban. I mean, what would think it's temporary? It's just for the period of time of the investigation.
Thank you very much. You see, National Association of Nigerian Students, we happen to be the #1 student body in the country, both home and diaspora. And when issues like this happen, our own first interest is the interest of our students. Whether we like it or not, there are students on that in Togo and Benin Republic that are pursuing their course on those in Benin.
Are those students also members of NAS?
Yes, every student, either in Benin, in USA, in Canada, anywhere.
So the association is also active outside the country?
Yes, they are active. We have structures down there. We have the NAS diaspora president. Okay. Even last year, we were together at the House of Reps to defend some issues that happen in UK. So we have students in those countries that are there studying legitimately. So when this ban came, we are stakeholders in education, in this educational system. We expect, if the minister wants to take such a decision, or the Ministry of Education should carry us along. If we have been carried along and we have raised observations to him that this is this, this is that, this is this, let us do it this way, possibly we won't be having the public outburst like that. But what we are saying is that the ban is fine. The minister, and let me say, their reaction is fine for them to reaction promptly like that. And that shows that, yes, the minister is up to the task, and his intentions and intent are clear, we understand. But in Benin Republic, we have over 50,000 Nigerian students.
In Benin alone?
In Benin alone. I got these figures from the president, NAS President Benin, directly from the embassy. And if we have over 50,000 Nigerian students in Benin Republic, and we have this issue of people buying results in Benin Republic, and we have students that are registered over 50,000 there, over 50,000 of them, I think we should be careful. Because any decision we are making is also going to affect those students.
Why do you think our people are going to school in Benin? Because, the reporter mentioned that even Benin citizens don't really fancy the universities like that because of the quality of education that is available there.
You see, irritability is one of the characteristics of human being. And human being, whether we like it or not, we tend to move from one region to the other. Where is conducive for me might not be conducive for you. And where is conducive for you might not be conducive for me. There are even many reasons that is enough to frustrate someone to want to leave Nigeria to study elsewhere. And part of them is ASU strike. Okay, just imagine the last ASU strike. The president of NAS Benin, as we speak, left Futmina during the last ASU strike and transferred to Benin Republic to study. So issues like that are some of the reasons why you see students leaving this place to go to Benin Republic. You understand, to have fast educational process. So I think those are some of the reasons, and many other things. Student refereeism, some students on that, some students in Benin Republic now, will see them telling you they have good electricity supply. Some of them tell you they have good hostel facilities. So things like that, little welfareism of the Nigerian students, those are one of some of the reasons why students are living here to go to Benin.
What exactly are the concerns of Nigerian students in this country, in these countries, as regards the suspension of accreditation, happening here in Nigeria?
You see, this process, this suspension of accreditation is fine. You understand? But our own concern is the innocent students. We believe investigation can be done without outrightly banning them. Then after your investigation and you get those schools that are doing this, you get those that are involved, you punish them. It's just as if we're burning the whole forest to kill a rat. If the investigation that was done to expose this was done discreetly by the journalist. Nothing stop our ministry and also security agencies to do their investigation discreetly. Even if there was discreet investigation, we'll get more results. Many people will be exposed. Now that everything is open, that okay, they want to investigate. You see people trying to cover that track now. So we want them to investigate. We want them to do justice. We want the educational system to be sane. But we also want them to consider the effect that it will also have. We have students that are in their third year in Benin. We have some preparing to go for their NYSC who have been studying there. So we just want them to also consider that aspect, that these people, because we want to punish, because okay, now if they are telling us that this ban is going to stand for 1 month, 2 months, it will be time. They will know okay, there's a time frame. This ban can end next week because it is indefinite ban. It can take a year. It can take 6 months. Nobody knows exactly when this ban is going to end. So if it is going to take 2 years, it means those students that are legitimate have to wait another 2 years to get their certificate. And if after 2 years, the federal government is coming and is saying those schools you people have attended, they are not qualified, we can't accredit them again. So the time is wasted.
Do you see NANS having a critical role to play here, particularly in helping to identify the fraud in the system? I know you hold elections, you have executive members. Do you even scrutinize whether your president has a certificate, or whether the certificate it claims to have or the school is attended is genuine?
You see, before you contest at the level of NAS, there are some investigation that will be done on you. As a student, you must be a student before you contest. And some of those investigations are even done with the State Department, the State Security Department. So to contest now as him, as the president in Benin, he will have provided his studentship, evidence of studentship, letter from his dean or the registrar of that school. So that satisfies him as a student. So if that has not been done, then he cannot come and make claim to being the student or the president. He won't even be qualified to contest.
So NAN's executive have to be students?
Yes.
Not graduates?
Not graduates.
So you are still a student?
Yes.
Interesting, because you even still look young. When I see some NAN's executive and they look pretty old, I'm wondering, is it Old Student Association?
No, in the NAS constitution, if you are running your PhD,
okay, you're still a student. Okay,
you're still a student. So even if you are 100 years old and you think, okay, you have passion for this organization and you want to run it and you can make the constitutional qualifications, you can come back, contest. If you win election, you lead us. Just know that you are here to represent.
Okay, it's not limited to undergraduates.
Limited to age or undergraduate.
Okay.
Just that if you are in your first year, you cannot contest.
Okay.
Because we still see you as freshers, and if you're also in your last year, if you are graduating the final year, students cannot contest also.
So quite a number of agencies and ministries of government have been fingered in this investigation. Top on the list is the Federal Ministry of Education, because it is from there that the name was sent to NYSC that this guy actually graduated from a university degree that took only 6 weeks, and he did not even leave Nigeria. And then I saw some of his interviews. One of the issues they had with NYSC was that his passport was only stamped twice. How do you do a 3 or 4 year course and then you only went to the country and returned once? And you begin to consider the kind of rot that may have existed or that still exists in our system. What are your concerns about this, and what does it say? What does it speak to the quality of graduates we're churning out every year?
It doesn't speak well now, because either we like it or not, the fact is that those students that went there to get those certificates illegitimately, they are still coming, but they are Nigerians. And you will see some of them presenting those certificates to get jobs in this country.
Indeed.
And luckily for some of them, they will get the job, because the companies cannot verify if they are the right certificate or if they are legit or not. Gotten a certificate, the man even said he scanned that barcode and he brought the name of the school, which means it is legit. So it is a great concern to us. It is really a great concern to us. We are not happy with it. It doesn't speak well of the country on its own. It doesn't speak well, which means our educational system, we need those that are supposed to monitor, to validate, and to make sure things are done rightly, which means there are problems. It's even this investigation. People are supposed to pay. Those that are supposed to do their job rightly and they did not do it, they are supposed to pay. The minister should not just go to this investigation, he should expand it even to the Ministry of Education. Because those schools were accredited by some persons. And after accreditation, they have been monitored. So are we saying you just accredit a school and your students from your country will go to those schools and study, and you don't have process to checkmate, you don't have process to go and investigate what is going on that campus to your students? So that is what this is saying, and that is what this is telling us.
So concerning this ban, precisely, what is NANS asking government to do?
What we are asking government to do is that any investigation, anything they want to do, they should consider the innocent student too. Because either we like it or not, they are already affected. I have parents that have spoken to me. We have students that have spoken to us. They are traumatized. Because we have students that have spent a lot of money. Some are in their third year. So no matter the emotions, no matter how serious this issue is, we must consider those students too. And this process, if it is dragging for too long, it is going to affect them.
So you are asking that this ban should be time specific, or you're asking that it
be lifted? If the ban cannot be lifted, let them tell us how long it's going to be.
Let me read this position to you and let me find out, because NANS itself is divided. We understand there are factions and all of that. In a statement signed by a factional National Senate president, his name is Elvis Ekundina. Do you know him? Interesting. Yes. So NANS commended the federal government over the suspension of the evaluation and accreditation of degree certificates obtained from institutions in Benin and Togo. However, the students' body called on government to extend its sanction to tertiary institutions operating in Nigeria who are offering courses without accreditation from relevant authorities. Do you agree with him?
If there are schools in this country that are running courses and they are not being accredited, then there should also be sanction. It's the fact. For instance, something happened in Ondo State. There was this school that students are being registered, they are doing their courses. And they promised them after they finish their course, they will take them to NYSC. And in reality, that school is just a sandwich program in Nakumba. He's running a sandwich program with Adikun Lajasin. And this man knew that these students are not going to get NYSC certificates. And he's admitting students, he's running course year in, year out, until the students started asking questions about, he has graduated about 3 sets of students. The school is in a road.
Hold that thought. George has called in from Ikeja. Good morning, Mr. George.
Yeah, good morning, Nifemi, and good morning to your guests. Nifemi, the government has to be careful about taking panic measures on this subject. I personally do not want to believe that every student in Togo, Cotonou, and the rest spends only 6 weeks to get a degree. It cannot be like that. And it is not possible that the investigation that was done will have just been a syndicate. And that syndicate should be treated in isolation from the system. Some of the measures we are taking now could backfire. If you are saying certificates from some universities in the US and the UK are already banned even before investigation. Supposing those countries turn back and say any Nigerian, any student that studied in Nigeria with that came here with a certificate cannot work, or those who are already working should go back. You can't just generalize like that. So if in Nigeria, for example, Nifemi, we have lecturers who have done sex for marks offenses. Some of them are now in jail. Would you now say that because some incidents like that happened in University of Lagos, so any certificate that is obtained from University of Lagos is fake or is banned? You can't do like that. In fact, the Ministry of Education should even be indicted on this matter. They have a list of universities from these countries that they recognize. Did they not conduct investigation before the recognition? If it turns out that a school that you have already recognized, an incident like this occurred there, it is left for you to investigate it. You can't just generalize it. This thing can be counterproductive, and you have to be very careful about it. That's my view.
Thank you so much for your contribution, Mr. George. So that school you were talking about that, kept graduating people without accreditation. What's being done? Because it seems that NAS is aware. What has been done?
When we came in, the school was shut down. And now investigation is going on because the man, the proprietor of the school, claimed he's going to make sure the students go for NYSC. And after them graduating, they cannot mobilize them for NYSC because it was a sandwich program. So we involved the police, the commissioner of police on those states on the issue, and the investigation was going on. Even about 2 weeks ago, we had maybe a building there was burnt down, and they are saying maybe they are students, but it's not students. So investigation is going on that issue. And many of those schools like that, there are still many schools like that exist in this country. So the Ministry of Education needs to stand up and wake up to their duties to fix out these schools. You just see somebody, we have money, we open a center and we say university in affiliation to one of these big schools. And those schools, because they are looking for money, we give them the right and come in. And when they start doing their business.
But there are schools that are duly registered, that have courses that are accredited.
Yes.
But they have a few courses that are not yet accredited.
Yes.
What do you think students can do in that regard?
You see, if schools, courses that are not being accredited in your school, they are online. If you are studying in any school now, and you have, if for instance you are studying biochemistry in Olusegun Agagu University, you have to go online, check, have you been accredited for this school? It is on NUC site. Every school, every institution have courses that have been accredited for them. So some schools have intake in hoping that before they graduate, they will have getting their accreditation. There are some schools that do that. But if you want to be at the safer side, go to schools that your course have been accredited in the country.
So what you're saying now is that there are students in Togo and Benin who are not involved in degree mails.
Yes,
We've also gotten a reaction from the school in question, ESGT, debunking the allegation, even though the investigative journalist in this regard isn't buying it because they definitely may have been complicit in all of this. But let's begin to look at, the other angles of this story, particularly when you consider the desperation of students in getting to school and, the desperation in, for instance, there are students who have been rusticated, who probably failed through the system and who are desperate to get this degree by all means. Do you think this might also have fueled this market to have become so pronounced over the years and also enjoy some level of validation even within the ministry?
Definitely. Yes, it's possible because either we like it or not. You said earlier, this report, there was a report like this in 2018, which means in reality, this business has been going on since 2018. And the moment someone can go to Benin in 6 weeks and get certificate, if you should come back and tell your fellow friends, I get my certificate in 6 weeks. Even there was a time, I was in a group one day, there was one of our students then that were in 300 level together, and before we know it, next year he's already serving. Not from the school we attended together, But some of us, we do not bother ourselves about them. We know, don't worry. If by God's grace we will meet in the political realm in future, we will open your history for you. And you tell us everything about yourself. So this business, we cannot tell you it is not going on. We cannot say we are not aware. We cannot say we've not had things like that. And it's a fast-growing business. That is why I said the Ministry of Education should open their committee to involve more stakeholders, especially from the students' angle, to make sure that this investigation is not just done alone by them. Good, they have involved the DSS. So that if there is anybody in the ministry that is included in this thing, you can also fish them out. Because it's not something that the school will just be doing alone like that from Benin Republic, and everything is easy. You go to NYSC, you serve, and things like that. There are always, all these people from Benin, when you meet them at NYSC camp, they are always foreign students. You hear foreign students come with special treatment to them. So investigation is not bad. Nobody, no sensible comrade or sensible student will say the federal government has done anything wrong to investigate. But what we are saying is that the innocent ones should be. Okay, I've studied about 50,000 in Benin now. Togo has a lot of students too. And they are Nigerians. They went there to study. We can't blame them. They spend their money, they spend their time. So if this investigation is taking 2 years, 3 years, are you going to wait? So there should be a time frame. They should tell us what they want to do. And that is the angle we are coming from.
Alex has called in from Oshogbo. Good morning, Alex. Oh, I think we lost that call. We're going to take a short break now. When we return, we'll open the phone lines and also get more contribution on this matter. By the way, NANS held a convention November last year that made the news with gunshots and killings and maimings. Well, I have a NANS comrade in the house. We should be talking about it as well right after this break. Stay with us.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known, for when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
I'm joined on the show this morning by President of the Senate, NANS headquarters, Comrade Akintaye Babatunde Afiz, as we look at the issue of degree mills and, the big story from one of our colleagues who's opening up the terrible developments within the education sector. But we have a caller from Enugu. Good morning.
Good morning.
Please go ahead with your contribution. What's your name, please?
My name is Albert, calling from Enugu.
All right, Albert, please go ahead with the contribution.
Please, this investigative journalist should give more information about the guy that did that certificate for him, because he must have given money to him either by paper or by cash. That person should be brought to table. Let him give names of those he has done such certificate for. Okay? Government shouldn't ban those foreign schools. They should go deep and get more information from that agent that did that certificate for him. That's what I have to contribute. Thank you.
Thank you, Albert, for your contribution. I saw one of his interviews, and he mentioned that some of the security agencies have reached out to him, and he is willing to, speak to them. After all, that's why he did the report in the first place. And we must give a lot of kudos to the young man who's been able to take the bull by the horn and, tell that story, because it's not a new story. We've told it before, but, it seems government wasn't listening. Hopefully, we see the end to this matter. But let's talk about, the perception of NANS as a body for students vis-a-vis what we saw play out during the convention last year. You know, the perception is that if for an elective convention, there are fightings, shootings, the use of thugs, you begin to wonder what kind of a future we have, you know, politically for Nigeria, because the hope would be, oh, the younger people are paying attention to the rot in the system and they would like to do things differently. What do you think happened?
You know, the country, or let me say, NAS as a body, many people still think NAS is an organization without constitution. They still think it is the NAS of that era. But thank God for our brother, the SSA to the president, Comrade Sunday Ashe, for doing his administration. He gave us a working document. And everybody abide by that document, which is the constitution of NAS. So everything you see playing out during the election is because you see many of us are not Democrats. We just want to, we imbibe this habit of, we just want it by force. If it is not coming my way, then it's not going to happen. So that is what you see that play out at the convention ground. This person does not want to accept this person, and but there are laws and constitutional laws that we are meant to follow. And if we are not following it, we have the security agencies that are meant to do or to maintain orderliness. You see, most of the gunshots, people just say gunshot. Most of the gunshots are by the security agencies, dispersing those that want to fight themselves, at least to maintain peace and orderliness.
Are you saying that students were not killed? And you know,
no, students were not killed.
The reports of people maimed and still being in the hospital, that's not true.
No, we have people that are wounded. Some of them are not even gunshots.
All right, hold that thought. Prince has called in from Kaduna. Good morning, Prince.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, please go ahead with your contribution.
Okay, good morning, Nifemi and the Senate President of NANS. The subject that is brought is a very touching subject. And all of us should be so, we should be ready to face the challenge that is on hand. We thank God for the guy that went and pulled the curtain out of this kind of matter. And the problem is it ought to have been known even by NAN themselves. If they know and they refuse to bring it out, then we should not blame the federal government. We should go ahead and stop this matter first before we know the next thing to do. The next thing to do is to you sieve the chaff from the seed. And whatever time is going to take, I'm so sorry, but we must be able to safeguard the integrity of this country. We must. If within 6 weeks a degree can be brought out, then definitely we must be able to face the situation. The NAN that is now talking, where were they when all these things were, and their friends are the ones that are going and bringing this to they themselves? No. So definitely let us give the federal government the room to sanitize that place, and those that are innocent will not be punished, I'm sure. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prince, for your contribution from Kaduna. All right, so, you know, the narrative, there are allegations about, you mentioned an SSA, some would say, I have read some stories where they said the SSA was interested in installing a candidate who graduated from school 20 years ago. Some would say there are candidates who were choice candidates of some people who are in government. How much of influence, you know, does the party and the government in power
Let me tell you
have
one reality.
On the association?
Let me tell you one reality. Everybody that contested that election will go out and seek support, financially, morally, backings. So if you are fortunate to get support that can give you the funds, everything that can help you get there, you can get that support and still lose the election. The one fact is that nobody is coming to that ground as senators or anybody you want to get your support from. Those that are going to vote are SUG presidents. All you need to do is get your
SUG presidents from across
the country in the country, no matter the support you have gotten. For instance, you are campaigning around, you are going around, you have people that are friends, either they are in government or they are in opposition. You go to them. There is none of us that did not go and seek support financially, because the burden, the financial burden to contest NAS, as a NAS ESCO now, we don't get dues, we don't get any fund from anywhere, and we are contesting. You need money to move around, you need support. So if, for instance, I want support from you, this person wants support from you, and luckily you believe in me and you give me your support, it doesn't mean you are going on ground to determine what is going to happen on the election day. Let's take
Mukhtar's call from Kano. Good morning, Mukhtar.
Yeah, good morning.
Please go ahead with your contribution.
Yeah, how are you? Good morning, Mr. Nefemi. How are you?
Terrific, I'm good.
Hello?
I can hear you clearly. Please go ahead.
Hello, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm fine, Mr. Mukhtar. Go ahead with the contribution.
Yeah, let me just make some few contributions to what you are discussing. Because in the first place, yes, our educational policies are rotten. We need to review our educational policies in Nigeria. Because our educational policies are rotten. We have to review it. And it has to go through the Federal Executive Council, to thrash and critically analyze the situation of Nigeria as far as universities education is concerned. You see, it's not the responsibility of the Ministry of Education alone. It is the responsibility of all Nigerians. And it has to go to the Federal Executive Council so that they discuss it. And you have to appoint somebody that knows education from the scratch, not a journalist holding the position of a Minister of Education. It has to be an educational person that is controlling the Ministry of Education, because the university education has now become a business. Everywhere you see, people are opening universities of their own, and they are there to make money. They are not only there to impart knowledge, but to make money. So it is always the case. And I'm sorry, if this continues, the educational standard of Nigeria will continue to be falling. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mukhtar, for your contribution. I really appreciate it. So help me understand the economy of this NANS election. How big is it? Because when you say you're seeking support, how many people formulate the electorate? How many of those people actually vote?
We have, last election, we have 337 accredited institutions.
337. So that means SUD presidents from all those.
Yes. So we have 6 zones. Okay. The Northwest, the Northeast, the North Central, Southwest, South, and Southeast. So SUG president from all those zones will converge as the convention ground for election. So you are contesting, you need to know how you bring them down.
And then you also settle them and give them money.
You want someone to come and vote for you from your school, especially this time that the fuel is about 600, 580. You have to give them fueling. If you did not give, somebody else give. They won't even, most of them will not care about who you are. So you have to. And doing that, you have to seek support. It is not out of point to seek support. But when people are coming to use the excuse of gap, somebody gets support from here, somebody got support from here. Where did you get your support from? How did you spend? How did you get about 150 million you spent on the election?
People spend that much?
So
wait.
It's not. If you should, from the day you started campaigning,
yes,
to the day of election, you obviously.
Why is it
you have
so?
To travel around 36 states.
Why is it so competitive? What's there? Does government pay you guys?
No.
So
nobody pays us.
Why do people spend hundreds of millions to win election?
To be a NAS president is not a small position. NAS president, NAS Senate president, the prestige that come with it, the respect and the type of caliber of people you have opportunity to meet, it can expose you to life even after the office if you can use the office very well.
Wow.
So those are reasons why you see people want to get there, go around. So the issue of somebody supporting you, this person supporting you, is not even what. When you see people talking about that, bring SUG president to count. Let them vote. We have SUG president.
Peter has called in from Akure. Good morning, Peter. Hello, Peter. Can you please turn down the volume of your TV set and let's have this conversation. Are you there, Peter?
Yeah, I'm there.
All right, go ahead, please, with your contribution.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. All right, we have to get back to Peter. So there's also the interest, the political interest in who emerges. I'm wondering what the concerns are here, because some would say, is it that whoever has the NANS leadership has the control of students during election? Or is it the claim to, manpower that can be used to win election? What are the political interests in this regard? Because there are talks about how some politicians, even nominate who emerges and sponsor them to certain positions.
You see, politicians nominating who emerges or sponsoring, I can't say against sponsoring people, but politicians don't determine who will win election in us.
But by inference, they do, because you are saying that money plays a significant role, and they have the money. So whoever has most money is more likely to emerge.
You can have the biggest money in NAS convention and you lose. The first time I contested election in NAS as JCC Ondo, I spent about 500,000, and the person that won that election spent about 50,000. So the SOG president, if you have the integrity and they believe in you, if you like, bring this money, bring that, the president, NAS has his ideology. It's not really about the money or the money. No, there's an ideology in us. But you see, politicians, yes, to some extent, the voice of a NAS president or NAS leadership speak volumes. So it is normal for politicians to say, okay, I want this person to be in our good book. I want this person. But supporting them to win election does not even mean they will be in your good book.
Alan has called in from Delta. Good morning, Alan.
Good morning. How are you? I love your show every time.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah. What concerns me, I'll be listening, is the amount spent to get election in that enhanced. Just imagine, it's even like just the election we do in Nigeria here. Why is it so costly to get elected to that position? That is what concerns me. And they should review it. At that level, if that money is spent in elections to be a president of a man, I think it's not encouraging. Thank you.
Well, I'm concerned too, I mean, he talked about hundreds of millions. I'm wondering, really. And government doesn't pay you, but you're talking about the impact and the influence that these positions offer. But there are other factions. What are you doing? They seem to also lay claim to what actually happened. How come NANS became factionalized?
You see, there is no faction in us. We just have some people imposting as NAS officials. And in due course, the law will take its course. You see, there are ways we do our issues in this organization. But this time around, we have decided to do things as an intellect. You understand? So, in the matter of days and time, I'm sure everybody will hear what is going on. The election was held in Abuja. The convention ground was at Old Parade Ground, and we converged there at Old Parade Ground. So if you have not even been getting accredited, you've not done accreditation, you are supposed to come for accreditation, and you realize accreditation was going on at the Old Parade Ground, where the security operatives were there, everybody was there, and flew.
So nothing happened at the ICC?
Everything that has happened in the aftermath at the ICC, the security operative called everybody and said, now they are taking charge. If you know you have here to cause trouble, stay back. Only SUG president should come to that ground. And they were there. Only SUG president went there for, even me as an aspirant, I was not allowed to come close to that ground until accreditation was done. It was when accreditation was done, they called all aspirants to come. By the time we are already doing this accreditation, before we aspirants even get there, we already see some people there at the hotel saying they are this, they are that. But it's not a problem.
So they held another convention?
There was no convention, just announcement that this, they are this, they are that.
Tijani has called in from Kaduna. Good morning, Tijani.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm terrific.
I want to make my contribution on what you are discussing, please.
Please go ahead.
My contribution is that I want to marry what my colleague has said already. I agree with the fake certificate, please. However,
He has made a good suggestions, and you didn't listen to him attentively. He said that there is need to open more doors for investigation. More doors for investigation, you invite A, B, C, D into it, including the Minister of Education. Not the Minister of Education alone to go ahead for investigation and take decision. Like what he has said, one, DSS has to be invited. Student union has to be invited. Even a member or a committee chairman from the Senate in charge of education has to be invited. Also, a committee chairman or member of the education committee, a reps has to be invited. And other relevant quarters. Then go ahead with all this investigation from these 18 universities, so that no one should be left out. The union should know and see in black and white how you are undertaking or processing this investigation, leading to the proof and authentic stand, confirming the fake education in these 18 universities. But if you allowed one organization or agency to go ahead for this investigation, he has made a very good suggestion that you invite the relevant quarters to be attached and make a very good team and swing off for investigation.
All right.
That is just my contribution, please.
Thank you, Tijani, for your contribution.
Yeah.
Made a lot of sense. So in your election now, it is winner takes all. You are not extending olive branch to the other factions.
No, we do that now.
You know, because you mentioned now that you want to address it intellectually. You want to do it by law. You know, you guys are politicians already with the number of money, with the amount of money you spend on elections. Do you do like other politicians say, you know what, you guys lost out. Let us work together.
You see, two administration before now, after the election, things like this happened. And those that really won the election, they will reach out, they will call, they will invite you and discuss. When the situation whereby you've done those things and you say it's not getting results, you just need to do the right thing. So during the process, if there's room for discussion, it will happen. And if there's no room for discussion, things should go the way it's supposed to be. Election has been done. And as a Democrat, if you don't win election, you congratulate the winner and you go and learn. You can win again next time.
All right.
It's not about it's not winning always. We win some, we lose some. That's just it.
Eze has called in from Abuja, right?
Please, let him pick my call.
I have picked your call, Eze. If you listen to me and also make your contribution. Go ahead with your contribution, please.
Hello, my name is Frank Eze. I'm calling from Abuja.
All right.
Yes. My name is Frank Eze. I'm calling from Abuja.
Go ahead with your contribution.
I just want to contribute to the discussion on going. I want to start from the man that is sitting close to you there. Is he a student? Let us start from there. Is he a student?
Yes.
If he is a student, I suggest that we look into whether he's a student, because it doesn't sound to me like a student. You say he's contesting Nan's leadership because of the prestige, because of where it will expose him to, not because of the interest of students. That doesn't sound to me like a student. You understand? Because one thing I've observed that most of the problems of NANS is that non-students have infiltrated that organization. So if a student that I'm looking at now...
When you say he doesn't sound like a student, Eze, educate me, what do you mean?
Not to project the students, then we have a problem. These are the kind of people that emerge leaders tomorrow. If a student that I'm looking at today have millions to contest the election,
okay,
it doesn't sound...
All right, Eze. I doubt if you can hear me, but, you know, straight...
I think it got that right.
Straight
got
up.
that wrong.
Yes.
Because the question was that, why do you think people are really eager to contest to do this? There is nobody that will be in NAS office that will not prioritize the interest of the students. In this year alone, this is the second interview I will be coming for over this student issue. We happen to be one of the first person that relate to the president of NAS in Benin. But situation, you ask questions that, why do you think? And I said there are some things that come with the office, apart from you just running around for the student alone. If you should go to any school now, they accord you the respect of the NAS Senate President, NAS President. Those are things that comes with the office. So I think you just get that right.
Is they ask you with the direct question, whether or not you're a student? I think I asked that earlier, and you answered in affirmative. Do you want to take up the challenge, tell him, the course you're taking?
I'm a student of Federal College of Agriculture, Akure Computer Science. You can put there for his.
You're an undergraduate?
Yes.
What level are you now?
ND2. That is even my second degree.
Oh, that's your second degree. Yes. Interesting. Some have said that because of how juicy, the NANS platform is, that people keep going back to school to perpetrate themselves in office.
If it is juicy as you think, at least after now you are supposed to have NAS president and have different houses and millions like that. It's not that juicy as you think. Nobody pays you as a NAS president or NAS executive. Nobody pays you. Nobody give you money, and you have to, and they expect you. There are some times that we even use our own hard money to mobilize students for protest. Genuine protest, you will hardly see students, but you have to go and you have to do that struggle because you believe it is the genuine struggle to fight.
So, we've added, the NANS conversation to the issue of degree meals. But what is NANS message to Nigerian students who are in Togo and Benin, who are also following this?
For now, even after this discussion, I'm still having a meeting with the president of Benin and the president of Togo, the SSS with the president too. And our advice to them is to remain calm as we push forward. I mean, the legitimate students that are in Togo and Benin, they should remain calm. There's nothing we can do. And the best we can do is to pursue through the Ministry of Education and to tell them, if it is for them to tell us how long this investigation will take, or for them to release the ban and do their investigation, any of the two, we just need them to know that they are innocent students, that this issue is being affected.
Let's take one more call. Comrade Sonny has called in from Abuja. Good morning.
Yeah.
Good morning. Yes, please go ahead with your contribution.
Hello.
Go ahead with your contribution. You have to turn down the volume of your TV. All right, I think we lost that call. So when you're calling in, once we pick your call, you have to mute your TV set, and that way we can continue the conversation on phone. If your TV is still on, there's no way we can have a conversation. We're wrapping up now. It's important that we also speak to, the stakeholders, particularly those who consider themselves, stakeholders within the education sector. What do you expect from them at this time? We've seen the Minister of Education react, the NUC, there's the NYSC, there's a Federal Minister of Education. What are your expectations, as an organization from the stakeholders?
Our expectation for them on this issue is to, first of all, make sure that the integrity of certificates coming from Benin returns. So there should be integrity. So the process needs to be, they need to investigate truly, and they need to come together to do this. To make sure that people will not just wake up one day, go to Benin, get certificate in 6 weeks. All those processes, everything like that should stop. And they need to come together to do that. And in the process of doing that, they should also please consider the innocent students that these issues might be affecting. We can withstand pressure differently. The way I can withstand pressure is from the way some students, they can withstand pressure. Before you start getting that some students are harming themselves because of this issue. So we want them to come together, see this issue as a top one, as priority, and waiting between the shortest period of time to resolve it entirely. And so if it is that they don't want students to go to Benin or Togo again after the investigation, they should say it loud and clear and know how they are going to help those that are there currently that are pursuing their case legitimately. That is our own issue.
In addition to the suspension of evaluation and accreditation of degree certificates from Benin and Togo, the federal government has banned 18 foreign universities operating in Nigeria, describing them as degree mills. I think it's about time that Nigerian students also begin to pay attention to the this kind of information and how authentic those institutions are, because you mentioned in this during this conversation about schools that are not even accredited but who are giving students admission and what have you. Comrade Akinteye Babatunde Afiz is president of the Senate NANS headquarters. Thank you so much for talking to us, and we wish you all the best in the new year. That's our show today, everyone. Thanks for being a part of it. We're back tomorrow with another exciting episode, but the conversation continues on X, formerly Twitter. If you use the hashtag this morning, remember to tag at TVC News NG and at Nifebi Oguntoye. I'll see you again.
There's crisis. People are sleeping in ATMs. The banks are not managed this. This is driving Nigeria into economic crisis.
The CBN did not really do their homework right. They're supposed to have sensitized people.
INEC officials speaking as we speak. There are just some 4 more states.
Hereby certify that I am the returning officer.
President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I will discharge my duties. No provision is there for fresh subsidy. The fresh subsidy is gone. We must be able to save our country from going under and take our resources away.
Some persons coming to congratulate the Senate President.
The Ministry of Power will need to engage with the Ministry of Trade and Investment, as well as the Ministry of Finance.
We demand justice for the killers of Aloba Promise Mohbad.
Presidential election petitions cause has been between last witness, making it a total of 27 years.
I'm the corporate chairman of the Medical
2023 was a roller coaster of events, from the early year Naira shortage to delving into the general election, inauguration, and more.
Bringing seasoned experts and analysts were quite crucial, yet challenging and necessary endeavor.
Hats off to our incredible sponsors and unwavering supporters who have fueled us throughout the year.
Our team of reporters, we are on the ground across the 36 states of the Federation, bringing you live coverage and breaking news.
Kudos to our dynamic news reporters nationwide, talented producers, creative motion graphics and promo producers, smooth editors, dedicated studio wizards, and every unsung hero behind the scenes.
I want to tell you that your behind-the-scenes magic is what brings our programs to life.
Your contribution adds depth and resonance to our storytelling.
Thank you for your tirelessness. Thank you for setting high standards. Thank you for your commitment through the years. And to our clients and partners across the states of Nigeria, you've been the canvas on which our compelling stories get painted.
As we stand at the threshold of a new year,
we'll extend heartfelt thank you.
Your support has been instrumental, and I want to tell you that we really appreciate your trust in us.
We express our desire to improve and fortify news coverage in 2024 and beyond.
Your contributions make our news magic happen, and I genuinely value each one of you as we gear up for 2024.
We're looking forward to an even brighter future. Here's to greater collaboration, innovation, and compelling stories.
Let's keep the momentum and cheers flowing. Your support makes it all worthwhile.
genuine business people desirous of success. In today's environment, ignore the taxman only at their own peril.
The idea we have is, can we not use NIN, that's the National Identification Number, as a unique and primary identifier for individuals? For businesses and incorporated entities, we use CAC registration numbers. Once you do that, you tie those numbers to all economic activities, getting a job, going to university, registering a vehicle, registering land, opening a bank account, getting a mobile phone, payment cards, importation of anything, buying PTA, every economic activity to be linked to that data to help us to make sure that people pay the right amount of tax.
For up-to-date and accurate information on your obligations, duties and rights under the various tax laws in Nigeria, watch Tax Matters on TVC News Thursday, 6:30 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Our planet, our home, threatened by man's activities with fears of mass extinction on the rise. On Green Angle, we examine the issues that affect our environment, seek solutions to put us on track to secure and restore a cleaner and greener world for generations to come.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking it.